right, it is November 7th, 2020, and it has been roughly about 6 months. So it's been maybe a little bit over 6 months, maybe about 6 months and 2 weeks, but like I said, approximately 6 months. And as you can see here, here's where we started off. You see this green sugar cane here. This sugar cane is about 10 feet tall now, as you can see. But I did say it was red sugar cane growing here. However, I had one green sugar cane stalk that I just threw down on the ground next to the red sugar cane, and as you can see, it took off. So it is going like crazy, but we still do have the reds here, and as you can see here is one of the reds. So pretty interesting stuff. You can see there are lots of roots here growing on this red sugar cane, so that makes for very easy propagation. And here's some more red here. You can see they're kind of mixed in with each other, but that's perfectly fine. I haven't yet gotten to tasting the flavor, trying out the flavor of the red sugar cane. It's pretty cool because you can see these roots up high, and if you look down below, there's not as many roots down here, so the lower portion here would be much easier for eating. But at the same time, if you look here, this sugar cane is starting to have shoots coming off of the main stem. So like I said, makes for easy propagation. Not so much for eating, but definitely easy propagation. I guess you can catch it at an early stage, which you can kind of see right here. There isn't any roots hanging off of those nodes, and there aren't any shoots either, just one straight stalk running straight up. But the green sugar cane is delicious. I've been eating this sugar cane quite a bit, and so have the feral hogs out here. As you can see on this side, you couldn't really see this side on the video because they didn't even start growing yet. But this will give you a good example of how fast sugar cane can grow. And these guys are about 10 feet as well. They just look shorter because there's a bit of a grade here and it slopes. And the hogs, like I said, as you can see down there at the base, the hogs just have a field day enjoying this sugar cane as if it were candy. Here is that mango. 6 months later, the mango looks beautiful. I bordered it with some rocks just to kind of keep some of the moisture there, because I did state that I would mulch it, but I haven't gotten to it, and I really don't think I will yet. It doesn't seem necessary because all of this grass that grows here around it, I'm trying to get it to fill out, and then I can periodically cut the grass down and have it return all the nutrients from that cut grass and cut weeds back into the soil. So you can see I've kind of allowed the grass and weeds to grow to a point where I can create somewhat of a lawn, I guess you can say. Here is one of the white guavas. This was the front runner, standing about 7 feet tall. No fruits yet, but I'm not too worried about it. Like I said, I have time. All I'm going to do is wait for it. However, we do have white flies and all kinds of pests here. I've been kind of debating on what I might be doing in the future, whether I spray it down with insecticides or just wait and hope that some good bugs come through, like ladybugs or antlions come through and take care of this pest problem for me. But like I said, I'm not too worried about it. The plant seems to be doing just fine. As you can see here, lots of new growth with these bright green leaves. Here is the front runner of the coconuts as well. Here's some bananas down along the bottom, and right here, as you can see along this ridge, are the soursops and the guavas, the giant white Vietnamese guavas that I pointed out in the last video. So you can see they kind of run all the way down towards the end there, and also the coconuts here kind of do the same thing. They just run all the way down along the edge down to the end. So here it looks like a bunch of junk, which it is a bunch of junk, but I'm going to be using this makeshift bed frame, I guess you can call it, and I'm going to turn it into a grow box here in the near future, maybe here within the next month. Here's one of the bananas. As you can see, they have grown quite a bit. So we did have a period of maybe about 2 or 3 months where it was pretty sorry as far as rain, and it got pretty dry out here. But these plants, they do know how to survive on their own without our support at a certain point. Once they establish themselves, they'll do just fine. So I wasn't too worried, and even if something had happened to these plants, I still had more plants that I could have brought out here. Here's that Soursop. You can see it. It is now standing about 8 feet high as well. Full with foliage and lots of branches. I'm going to have to top this guy here soon. Maybe right about here, because I don't want him to grow too tall. Although I want to allow him to get a little taller. Once he starts to get a little fuller, I will eventually top him so that he doesn't get too tall. You can see the base of the Soursop there. The trunk of the tree is well established. I have some Soursops at home that are the same age as this tree, and they still look exactly how they looked when I first planted them. So that gives me a pretty good picture of how important it is to know what you're doing when you're planting plants and keeping them in pots. Nutrients being provided to the plants as far as fertilizers is crucial to their growth, and I've kind of learned that the hard way, but we learn as we go. Here on a couple of months ago, I had taken some dragon fruit cuttings off of the side of the road, because they just kind of grow wild here in Hawaii off the side of the road. So I stopped and I took some cuttings, and I brought the excavator over, dug a hole, and placed these guys right around the trunk that I placed here. And I'm hoping that something happens, but so far it doesn't look like anything has happened. But at the same time, I'm glad that at least the cuttings didn't die. Hopefully here in the near future, maybe in the next 6 months, I can show you some progress. Here is our cocoa plant, still looking really nice. There are some beetles here. Don't really know the name of the beetle, but apparently they're infamous for flying horizontally. So lots of folks like to put borders around their cocoa plants so that that beetle that comes flying through doesn't just fly right into the plant and wind up getting it. I don't know how that works, but I believe what they say. I'll just let my cocoa plant do what it does, as do wild cocos that grow here off in the jungle on their own. And hopefully he'll produce some fruit here for us within the next couple of years. More bananas. As you can see here, the bananas have gotten quite big. And that's just the way bananas grow in tropical weather. They do great. Here are some what folks would commonly call elephant ear plants, but here we call it taro. This is kind of a wild taro out here in Hawaii. We're out here in Polynesia. It is edible. Even the leaves are edible. However, they tend to folks here in Hawaii tend to eat different varieties of taro, and not necessarily this one here. There is an ice cream banana that I planted. I don't know if you can see it here on the camera, but it's right here. I'm not sure how he's going to do. He's looking kind of miserable right now, but hopefully he bounces back and turns into something here within the next couple of months. Here's a male papaya tree that I just allowed to grow. Bananas. This is a yellow guava, if I'm not mistaken. I just learned its name about 2 weeks ago, and now I've forgotten the name all over again. But I've got a few of these at home. It's a yellow guava. It's not exactly the sweetest guava you're ever going to eat. As a matter of fact, it's probably not sweet at all. But I like how the tree looks, and the foliage looks really cool, and I just want to have him as part of the collection, because I've never seen that guava before in my life. Right here is some yellow ginger that I put here into the ground about a week and a half ago. It looks dead, but there's a brand new shoot right there coming up. That's shell ginger right there. And we planted him, I think, a couple of months ago, and he's turning out perfectly fine. Right down here is another type of ginger, which I also forgot its name, but I'll put the caption up for it. This was a pellet plant, but I'm eventually going to replace it with another plant because this pellet plant died. Here are bananas here, as you can see. Looking great. And here are the pellet plants that I placed between the bananas. And they did perfectly fine, as you can see here. The trunks of the tree are very thick. So like I said, they're doing great out here. As a matter of fact, they're starting to flower. And you can see that right here. Yellow flowers. So here are some of the buds and also some of the seed pods, if I'm not mistaken. I don't really see them sprouting up from seed, but maybe they will. Here's a different variety of pele, more of a purplish color you can kind of see there. Bananas, so some of these bananas have started producing already, and I'm sure a lot of you out there know that bananas grow super fast, and they also multiply really fast as well. So as we come to the back, you can see another banana there that has already produced. Lots of bananas. Here are our red gingers in the back. They look fairly the same for the most part. And here is our mountain apple, which fairly looks the same as well. Not too much growth, but I do know that I will be mulching this guy pretty heavily here, probably within the next month. So I'm gonna put a pretty big circle of mulch around him. Not necessarily right next to him, but definitely around him, because I want that mulch to kind of revitalize the soil so that this mountain apple here can get as much nutrients as it needs to start growing at the rate he should be growing. These are Tabasco pepper plants I put here months ago, but they looked like they were going to die where I originally had them. So I brought them over here and put them down, and it's been, like I said, a couple of months. So you would think they'd grow a lot faster, but they've been struggling for a bit, and also they're not in direct sunlight. So the sun kind of comes from this side and it goes right around this way and comes down here. So as you can tell with that trajectory, it stays above the canopy here for the most part. So some sunlight gets in, but not as much as probably this Tabasco plant really wants. White guava, and I'm kind of speeding through it here so that we can close this video. It's getting a bit long. I just allowed this yam here to just kind of do its own thing. We've got lots of yams all over this place that are popping up, but I cut them down all the time because I don't need them. But I allowed this guy to grow just to have him around and see what it turns out looking like here in the future. You can see lots of patches of grass looking area, and that's exactly what I want throughout this whole area. I want the grass to kind of grow out so I can use it as a shield against the sun when it starts blazing down, because if it's just bare soil, it gets so dry that no moisture is kept in the soil. It just basically becomes pretty barren and dry, and everything starts looking like it's dying. It looks like it's on its way out. Here at the bottom, if you can see it there, we've got some star fruit that I planted a couple months ago as well. So hopefully these guys, between now and the next farm log, hopefully these guys get significantly larger. You can see these guys, they're about 3 feet tall. So like I said, they seem kind of small now, but hopefully within the next 6 months or so, or maybe even less than that, we see a lot more significant growth. But they are kind of growing out right now as well. You can see here this guava, those bright green leaves are the signs, and also the red stem here are the signs that this guava is starting to take off, especially because it's starting to get a lot rainier now. Here is one guava, the only guava out of all the guavas that has produced, and it's only produced one guava. Although there are lots of pests all over the leaves, they tend to leave the fruit alone. So we'll see what happens here within the next couple of months. I don't exactly know how long it takes for this fruit to mature, but like I said, we'll wait and see. I'll take that out. Don't need that guy there. But that's pretty much it. That's what everything is looking like right now. We have the star fruit. I have 3 star fruit out here. One here. There's one out there. And there's another one somewhere right down there. But we'll leave it there for now. Hopefully you guys got a pretty good picture of what everything has become within these past 6 months. And we'll come back in another 6 months to see how everything looks then. So I'll check you guys out here in a couple months. Thanks for watching.